Welcome to episode 3 of the Everyman Show. We are glad that you are here joining us again today. Make sure that you get the word out to your friends about what we're doing here at the Everyman Show. Every view counts, so send it out. Make sure people are watching, especially the men in your life. They absolutely should be watching and taking advantage of what we talk about here on the Everyman Show. So today we have a pretty humorous topic, yet it's also important for guys because a lot of guys deal with hair issues. And so today we're going to be talking about manscaping. Now manscaping is a term that we derive, of course, from landscaping. Just like you would keep your grass outside trimmed and you keep your hedges and everything shaped. Well, guys, when it comes to hair, we have that on our manscape, and so we need to keep it trimmed, we need to keep it shaped. This show is meant to give you some different options as to trimming options, whether it's for beard, for the hairline, for the chest, underarms, back, and then maybe even some other areas as well. So anyway, just want to go ahead and jump right into this topic. But the first thing I want to remind you of is, thankfully, we live in 2011 right now at this point, and we don't have to go back to the way that time has been in the past when it comes to the options guys have for hair trimming, hair removal. But I just wonder, what would it be like back then in those days? Aren't you glad we don't live in those days anymore? And then, of course, today we have a lot more options to help us with haircuts, hair trimming, hair removal, hair shaping. One of the best things that we need to make sure we have is the right kind of tools. What I recommend and have used for some years is this Philips Norelco G370 model. And as you can see, it's a multi-purpose tool, and this, for the most part, would help every guy in their day-to-day needs for hair removal, hair shaping. So it's a great tool, and at 20 bucks, it is a steal of a deal. Okay, so starting here with the head, let's work on some of these areas. One thing that we have to remember is, like, between haircuts, we can actually do a little bit of shaping that helps a haircut go a long way. And the two main areas that you want to focus on, of course, is going to be the neckline on the back here, and then right over the ears. If you can keep this area trimmed, it can make a haircut go a long way. And so again, that's where our Philips Norelco would definitely come into play. Now what I have here, the actual attachment that I have is the wider attachment, and that gives a closer shave. And then I would use that to do the trimming on the back of the neck to keep it level. And then there's another attachment which is similar in how it trims and all that stuff, but it's actually thinner, and so that would work really good over the ear line in order to help there. The next issue that some guys deal with is the problem with ear hair, whether it's on the edges or even internally. But guess what? The Philips also has an attachment for that, and that's this little thing right here. Maybe you never even knew what this was for. But this basically has a rotating blade inside, and it's got this guard around it so you won't cut the inside of your nose or your ear. And then you can just get it here on the edges of your ear, right here inside the ear. Just be careful not to shove it in, of course, too far. And then, boom, the ear hair is gone. You can also use this for nose hair. If you've got something really long coming out of the nostrils here, this comes right to the tips and can take care of that quickly. So again, just these tools right here, it's great for its multi-purpose functionality. Another problem that guys have is issues with back and shoulder hair. Now, I don't know if I'd use the multi-tool for that purpose, but guess what, guys? We have another tool at our disposal. Nair actually has an entire product line for men. Pictured here is the no-touch roll-on lotion. Basically, you just roll it on any place on your back where there's hair or your shoulders, and you just wipe off the hair with a washcloth with some warm water. Very easy to accomplish. I've actually used that product, the no-touch roll-on lotion. Here's a container over here, and the top actually has a roll-on applicator, so you just roll it on and then the lotion comes off. And then you leave it on, follow the directions. Sometimes it can take a little longer for some guys than others, but then basically you just get a damp, warm washcloth and wipe it off. I'll be honest, I've gotten a little help from my wife to reach some of those hard to reach spots, maybe in the center or lower back. But again, I found this to be the best product. The last thing I would tell you to do is to go get your back waxed. It hurts, I promise you. But once you do this, it's pain-free, and then the results, they last. They last for up to a couple of weeks. So definitely, that is something you will not regret using. It's a great product. So a lot of guys have issues with chest hair, lower abdomen hair, and you know, shaping it, keeping it trimmed. I wouldn't recommend going the full gloss look on that, the complete removal of the hair, unless you've got like a chiseled six-pack and sculpted pecs, and in which case you're probably not an everyman. You're probably an exception to the regular guy. But for the regular guys of us out there, the first thing I'd tell you is, first of all, it's okay to trim this. And again, back to the Phillips Norelco, the G370, they got some great attachments for stuff like that. This attachment here slides over one of the existing trimmer attachments here that I showed you earlier. And when it slides on, you can actually adjust the length, the numbers. And so just adjust it, and you don't have to go, again, don't go bare. Probably the best thing to do is just to trim some of the length off of it, and then you can shape it. And what I mean by that is you can see and notice which way the hair is growing, if it's growing central towards the chest or down a little bit, and that's how you want to shape with it, so it's natural in the shaping. And again, it pays off, especially guys, if you're going to the pool, you're going to the lake or to the beach. Tangle that, all that tangled mess, you know, give it some help, give it some relief, and of course the Phillips Norelco is a great tool to do that. Okay guys, you know, the rule is generally less is more. So wherever you're trimming, wherever you're shaping, just make sure to pay attention to the flow of the hair, the direction that it's going, and just trim it down. Again, that doesn't mean you have to be oil slick. As a matter of fact, I would discourage that, again, like unless you're an Adonis who's modeling or weightlifting, and like I said before, if that's the case, you're probably not the everyman. So just you know, use the tools. You know, remember to do a good length. Don't get down to the skin, because once you start trimming down to the skin level, it's going to be irritated no matter where that is. If that's in your armpit, back, shoulders, anywhere. That's going to be the case. All right, well, this is it for us on episode 3 of the Everyman Show. Make sure to join us next week. We have a treat for you. We're going to be doing a viewer comment and question only episode. So make sure you get your comments in. We've had several questions that people want answered, and have some different little ideas floating around. So you never know what might happen this next week. Then also, the Everyman Show, we've set a goal. We'd love to have at least 1,000 views by the end of the year, so you can help us out with that. Recommend this show to your friends, of course, to any guy that you know. He absolutely needs to see these shows and get involved, but you guys are what make this show a success. We appreciate your comments and your feedback. Make sure to comment on the videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we sure do appreciate it. All right, guys, that's it for us today. I just want to remind you, just because you're an everyman doesn't mean you have to be a caveman. All right, we'll see you next week.